here's what we're looking at for the NL Central third base. I hate to say it, but obviously Nolan Arenado is obviously the class of the division. 7.9 WAR. You could argue very easily that he is the best player in the division. You know, I mean, some would say Goldschmidt, but I would say some would argue, and I even heard this, I think, on the radio this week, some arguing he still could be the most all-around player in baseball. Best all-around player in baseball. Mike Trout, yep, for sure. But Nolan Arenado's he's won a Gold Glove every single season.
Gloves. Like, I think the last however many platinum gloves he's won. 2 or 3, maybe?
He's good, and we hate the Rockies for it. DNVR.
Yeah, the Rockies are still dead to me. The biggest fleece job in all of sports. Not baseball, all of sports. This is straight up the biggest fleece job I've ever seen.
6 straight platinum gloves, by the way,
6
for Arenado.
straight platinum gloves.
Despite the fleece job, Dellmetrics says otherwise, though. That's all I'm saying.
Dellmetrics are always different. You always have to check Fangraphs and Baseball Reference, but then you've also got to Google the Dellmetrics because that a lot of times will even out. That'll be the decider for where something really goes.
Dellmetrics.
And so for Cardinals fans that are listening to this, you're going to want to Google Dellmetrics and always check.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's not hard to find.
Sometimes Dellmetrics will make the whole thing go sideways.
I've been sending petitions to get it put on Fangraphs, and they won't do it. But we'll
have to call Jeff Passan and see if he can get that pushed through.
Maybe
John
call
Morosi, maybe.
Or Ken Rosenthal. I mean, it's a travesty. But again, since we can't take it that seriously, fine, he can be at the top.
All right, he's at the top. and the Cubs are also not number 2 on this list either. No. The best you could say is maybe the Cubs are 3, but Ke'Bryan Hayes,
he's awesome.
He's pretty good.
He's going to be real good.
Yeah.
But when Arenado's done playing, Ke'Bryan Hayes will probably still be the best third baseman in the division. Like 4.2 WAR. That's Baseball Reference. Sorry, Corey.
Disgusting.
Even I'm a little disgusted because I look at Fangraphs more than Baseball Reference.
Listen, here's what I do. I Google, and the first one that comes up is Baseball Reference.
That's such a stuck thing.
I Google it. Baseball Reference comes up before Fangraphs, so that's what happens.
That's fair. That's fair.
I like Ke'Bryan Hayes a lot, and it's crazy that he's such a good player. He hasn't been great offensively, his first couple years in the league, but this is what he did last year at third base. 24 defensive runs saved, 18 outs above average at third base. Like that,
and he's a vibe.
Yeah, and I think he had like an 88 WRC plus. So like he had 88 WRC plus in 2022. His whole game right now is awesome defense. If he figures it out at the plate, like this guy is going to be one of the best players in the division because he's already so good defensively at third base. If he can, I don't know that he'll reach Nolan Arenado levels or at the plate offensively. But if he could just be an above-average hitter, like that's a really good player.
Next Wednesday, we will be doing our season preview. Maybe we will do top 10 players in the division and see if he makes that top 10 players in the division. There's a lot of good players in the division. I'm not going to say we're the West. We're not the National League West, but there's a lot of good players still within this division, and Arenado and Hayes are on that list. Now, I believe the Cubs are third. They're right in the middle of the pack here when you look at third base. And it's probably, first of all, we can't guarantee you who's going to be the starting third baseman.
Yeah, who do we have on there right now?
I put Rios and Wisdom. I left out your guy Madrigal because I don't think he'll be I don't think he'd be playing there on a consistent. I don't think he's going to get the most starts out of that list. No. I think it's probably Wisdom and Rios, but it could be Rios and Wisdom.
Rios has been very impressive this spring.
It could just be a straight platoon, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Morel at some point. We talked about he could be there.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is Rios opening day because they're going to have to go up against Corbin Burns and at least give him the lefty-righty matchup. Because Patrick Wisdom, he's faced Corbin Burns enough, and I don't feel good about that matchup. So I do think that it'll be a platoon in terms of matchups. Rios will probably play more against righties versus Wisdom against lefties. Wisdom hits better against lefties. So they both bring a lot of power, that's for sure. Those guys could those guys could total more home runs than Nolan Arenado this season. So, whatever. As far as defense, you're hoping that Wisdom gets back to 2021 form because he was a really good defensive player in 2021. Last year, I don't know exactly what happened.
He still provided you. The reason they're third is whether it's Rios or Wisdom still gave you 25 homers last year.
Yeah,
I know. There's obviously major flaws in his game, but
so Wisdom, he had a 2-run single in some spring training game the other day, and I tweeted from the CHGO Cubs account it's going to be interesting to see how Wisdom performs in this new lineup that has a little bit more protection for him. I wasn't saying that he was, or that the lineup is significantly better or anything like that, but I was just saying it is improved, and to see where he is going to be in the lineup and see how much more success he can have, not being the only power threat in the lineup. And someone, everyone always throws the batting average and the strikeouts out there. I genuinely think that the strikeouts come a little bit down for him this year, based off the lineup, and he's gonna have a little bit more protection, and I don't think he's going to be in the middle of the lineup with the pressure to have to drive in runs all the time. So I think he can be
that's one of the main things.
Yeah, I think he can be a very solid role player. And that's not to say he's going to be all-star level, just a solid player, like a Adam Duvall type or something like that.
I've got a question for you, Ryan, because I think unlike Cody, I don't believe that the strikeouts will change. He is who he is. He's a home run hitter who will strike out. I think the place we can hope that he improves is defensively.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we can hope for.
Well, he had that 2021 where he was actually pretty good at third base. Last year wasn't. And he doesn't it's not like he has such a long track record where you could say, 2022 was a fluke. Don't know what's going on with him, but that's not going to happen. You don't know that. 2021 could have been the fluke for all we know as far as how well he played defensively at third base. But the fact that he has shown the ability to play a really good third base can at least inspire some confidence that he can get back to it, right? Maybe he's not a Gold Glove third baseman, but if he can just, he makes the routine plays, makes the hard plays, more often than not, then you feel good about having him at third base. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's probably going to keep striking out a lot, near the league, the top of the league. He might give you, if he gets, the amount of playing time that he's gotten in the past, he could still get you over 20 bombs. But the one place where you want to see and can expect to see some improvement is at third base because he's done it before.
Barb says we're not reading comments today. I just read Barb's comment.
I wasn't saying that Wisdom's strikeouts were going to significantly come down. I'm just saying that I think it can come down below 34%. That's what it was last year. He struck out 40% of the time in 2021, the year that we were talking about how he was better than last year. So all I'm saying is if he could strike out 30%, I feel like that's a significant improvement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.